This is kind of the culmination of a lot of accusations in the past that were made before. So can you tell us a little bit about the backstory here?
Yeah, so this lawsuit against the NFL Network was originally filed in October. Actually, it was one day after the Harvey Weinstein story broke in the New York Times. So when I was speaking with the lawyers, she said there wasn't a greater understanding of sexual harassment and how pervasive it might be in workplaces. Yesterday, she filed an amendment naming names, so naming these executives and household football players' names. And so that has really brought awareness to just how pervasive that they allege that this sexual harassment was at the NFL.
And Jamie Cantor, the person who's making these accusations, she had also raised concerns about working conditions at the NFL Network before, complained to her superiors, her managers, and nothing was done.
Yeah, so Jamie Cantor, she was a wardrobe stylist at the NFL Network for about 10 years. And so she had raised this complaint that the former players were texting her nude photos and groping her in the morning. She said in the complaint, it says, instead of good morning, they would grope her on the, breast, her butt. And so her supervisor said, that's part of the job. So she's alleging that she didn't even have a support system when she reported it.
Have we had any feedback? Have we contacted the accused individuals here to get any feedback on the latest or deep dive into some of these allegations? Have we heard anything?
So part of our reporting, we definitely reached out to all of the people named in the suit. Just to be clear, the only people being sued is the NFL Network and one of her supervisors. So we've reached out. They've been suspended, but we haven't heard any statements further than that.
News. NFL TV, ESPN suspend 5 ex-players over harassment claims. The NFL Network, ESPN, and Bill Simmons, The Ringer, have suspended 5 on-air commentators and a senior executive after allegations of sexual harassment by a former co-worker. The former football players, including Hall of Fame running back Marshall Faulk, Heath Evans, and Ike Taylor, allegedly groped and made sexually explicit comments to Jamie Cantor when they were colleagues at the NFL Network, according to a lawsuit filed against the NFL Enterprises by Cantor. The allegations against the retired players and the former NFL Network executive producer Eric Weinberger, who's now president of sports commentator Bill Simmons Media Group, are part of a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court. An amended complaint filed Monday details specific acts of harassment by several individuals who aren't named as defendants. Weinberger sent several nude pictures of himself in sexually explicit text and told Cantor she was put on earth to pleasure me, according to the complaint. Cantor says he also pressed his crotch against her shoulder and asked her to touch it. She said she was also sexually harassed by on-air talent. Faulk would ask Cantor deeply personal and invasive questions about her sex life. He also fondled her breasts and groped her behind, according to the complaint. Taylor sent Cantor sexual inappropriate pictures and a video of himself masturbating in the shower, according to the filing. Donovan McNabb, a former analyst, also texted her explicit comments, according to the complaint. Faulk, Taylor, and Evans have been suspended pending the investigation, said Alex Reithmeyer, a spokesman for the NFL Network. McNabb now works for ESPN, which said in a statement that neither the former quarterback nor the employee identified in the complaint, Eric Davis, would appear on the networks during the NFL investigation into the allegations. Weinberger has been suspended from Simmons Media properties, including the Ringer website, according to a statement. He hung up the phone when reached by a Bloomberg reporter. And Simmons didn't return emails seeking comment on the allegations. Joe Siegel, who represents Taylor, didn't immediately return a voicemail seeking comment. Jordan Bazant, who represents Faulk and Evans, didn't immediately respond to requests for comment on the allegations. Representatives for McNabb didn't immediately respond to an email request for comment. Cantor first filed her case in October, claiming wrongful termination. Laura Horton, a lawyer for Cantor, said by phone, "It's outrageous conduct and I fully intend to hold the NFL Network responsible." While several men across politics, media, entertainment, and the technology industry have been fired over allegations of sexual harassment, this is the most sweeping indictment to surface at the intersection of sports and media. Earlier this year, Fox Sports fired executive Jamie Horowitz after allegations of harassment. Former big league catcher and Toronto Blue Jays analyst Greg Zahn was also let go for inappropriate behavior toward female coworkers. And former NFL quarterback Warren Moon was accused of harassment. None have the star power or name recognition among casual sports fans like Marshall Faulk or McNabb. After the NFL Network, Weinberger helped create and oversee the network's live programming, and when Simmons praised his professional record when he hired him, he's a talented guy with impeccable reputation, someone who uniquely is equipped to help me build an innovative multimedia company from scratch, Simmons said in a 2015 statement. I know from experience that you're only as good as the people around you, and Eric is one of the best, he said at the time. Cantor said she complained about sexual advances from former NFL players to Mark Watts, the league's talent coordinator, but he said nothing. According to the complaint, he told her, "It's part of the job when you look the way you do." Watts didn't immediately respond to messages seeking comment. Cantor said she also raised concerns about other working conditions at the network, including failure to reimburse her for expenses and lack of compensation for the hours she worked. She was terminated by her supervisor at the NFL October 2016 when she was 51 years old. Now, this is a chick that's past the wall and replaced by a 30-year-old, according to the complaint. The revelations and suspensions are the latest in a series of challenges to the NFL, which is coping with falling television ratings amid player protests and public rebukes from President Donald Trump. Earlier this fall, fans witnessed the owners' public fight over whether to extend Commissioner Roger Goodell's contract. The case is Cantor versus NFL Enterprises, LP. There you go, folks. There you go. Now, this was filed, sexual harassment suit was filed by a 51-year-old wardrobe assistant. Now, when I first heard this, I thought she was like maybe 20, in her mid-20s, possibly at very minimum, very maximum, her early 30s. But this chick was past the wall when she started working there. And you're going to tell me 5 high-profile men, the masters of the universe, are going to sexually harass somebody that's in their late 40s and in their early 50s? Are you kidding me? And they're taking this seriously. That's all I got to say about it. She's past the wall, and if people believe that she's sexually harassed by 5 different guys, and 3 or 4 of them are athletes, and an executive that can hire hot tail going left and right, and they're going to hire her and sexually harass her. This is truly a witch hunt. And even the alpha males, and everybody kept telling me, the alpha male, they won't tattletale on the alpha males. They won't come after the alpha males. She said she complained, even though there's no record of it. I would love for this one to go to trial and to see if she actually did complain, and there's actually is paperwork behind what she says, because I'm really curious about this. I have a hard time believing a post-wall chick in her 40s and get hit on and actually have sex pics text to her, like they really want to have sex with this woman that desperately, so they can actually pick her on the job to sexually harass. Now, I'm not one guy. I could see if it was one guy, but 5? But 5, and she didn't say anything till after she was fired? And they brought in a 30-year-old? And I could see if she's like, fresh out of college, she's like 21, 22 years old, and she's drop dead gorgeous, and people are coming after her. That's really, really hard to believe. But like I say, folks, this is Me Too, the remix. This is Me Too for alpha males. So a lot of those pickup artists and the dating coaches have been saying that these girls won't come after alpha males. I beg to differ. This is a big piece of evidence that any chick, especially a chick that's been jilted, what does they say? The hell have no fury like a woman scorned. I'm really wondering if she actually slept with some of these guys. But why would they sleep with her? And this happened over the period of 10 years. Now, some of these things, I think, I've heard some things where they disrespected her. Like they had her. Now, why would they have her in a wardrobe room in a bathroom? And especially the company bathroom. Because I heard she had one complaint where I can't think of who it was. One of the guys actually urinated in front of her. And then she asked him why, and he said, "I can't help if they put your office in the shitter." So it doesn't sound like they respected her enough to try and sleep with her. But like I said, they're shooting the generals, folks. They're shooting the alpha males. They're shooting them first. So you know what that means for you, us lowly beta males. We don't have a shot. The regular dudes don't have a shot. So put on your MGTOW armor, even you alpha males that feel that you don't need it, or prepare to pay the consequences. With that, that's all I got. This is BGS out.